Welcome back. We're continuing our laws of Tzedakah and Maaser. This time we're in Siman Reish Mem Het of Yoreh De'ah, Shulchan Aruch. Sometimes people ask, Rabbi, Shulchan Aruch promises that if you give Tzedakah, you're not going to become poor. You're only going to become more rich. And you can even test Hashem like that. Why is it I give Tzedakah and I don't seem to get rich? So there are a few answers to this question. Number one, in addition to having certain good things that you do that promise you wealth, there are certain things that if you do, they take away wealth. For example, it says that somebody who disrespects food is going to become poor. Somebody who disrespects his wife is going to become poor. Somebody who doesn't keep Shabbat is going to become poor. So it's possible that a person is doing one good thing, but at the same time he's doing something that cancels it out. So a person has to say to himself, am I fulfilling everything correctly? And on top of that, I'm also doing the mitzvah of tzedakah that's going to make me rich? Or is my money kosher? Is my wife happy? Am I doing everything else? And only then I can expect wealth. That's answer number one. The answer number two is, who is considered rich? It's a person who has enough for whatever he needs. And if at the end of the year you were able to make your ends meet, you were able to eat every day, clothing every day, shelter on your head every day, you're a rich person. Now, what's the opposite of it? It's possible that a person one day, it was decreed upon him that he was supposed to get sick. And because he gave tzedakah, maaser, he didn't get sick. And because of that, he went to work. And because of that, he earned $200. So he might say, I don't see this money coming back to me. I gave $200 and it never came back. But the answer is it did come back. You just didn't notice it. You were supposed to be sick and miss a day of work and not earn $200, and Hashem gave you a gift of health and you were able to go to work. Or somebody scratched your car and now you had to go and do a body job and it cost you $500. But somebody missed your car. Hashem made it that he guided that car and it didn't hit you. And it saved you $500. Where did this $500 come from? Because you gave tzedakah, this $500 came to you. You didn't notice it, but it came. So sometimes Hashem works behind the scenes and he takes away the expenses. Taking away expense is like giving money to you. You might get a ticket, you might have to do a repair on the car or at home. And if you give tzedakah, you're not going to have to do that repair. You're never going to know. But only afterwards you're going to go to Shamayim and you're going to see so many things were avoided because I was giving tzedakah. There's a story about Rav Chaim of Volozhin that one time he was writing in his book how much tzedakah to give, and he was thinking, should I separate maaser from this or not? Is it obligated, not obligated? So you know what? I'm not going to write it down. I'm not going to give. And as soon as he decided it, there was a knock on the door, and his servant came in and he said, Master, I was trying to draw water from a well, and the bucket fell in, and it drowned. Then I took an axe, and I tried to fish it out, and the axe slipped out of my hand, and fell into the well as well. I lost it, I'm sorry. So he understood that such things don't happen for nothing. So he said, how much is the axe? How much is the bucket? And he realized it's this exactly the amount of money that he was thinking, should I give to tzedakah or not? So he said, must be, Hashem has shown me a sign that that money belonged to tzedakah. So he right away took out his notebook and he said, this money I'm going to give to tzedakah. As soon as he wrote it, there was another knock on the door, and the boy came back and said, oh, you're not going to believe what happened. I went back to the well, I tried to get it again, and it came up to the surface, and I was able to get back the axe and the bucket. So again, when we think we're saving money by not giving tzedakah, chas v'shalom, something's going to happen that this money is going to leave us anyway. Okay, now Siman Reish Mem Chet. Mi chayev ba u'mi ra'ui lekabla. Who is obligated to give tzedakah and who can accept it? Halacha Aleph. Kol adam chayav liten tzedakah. Every person has to give tzedakah. Afilu ani. Even a poor person. Even poor people have to also be generous and give. Hamidparnes min tzedakah chayav liten mima sheyitnu lo. Whatever poor person gets, he has to separate small amount and give to other poor people. ומי שנותן פחות ממה שראוי ליתן, בית דין היו כופין אותו. In times of beit din, if they saw a person who is stingy and not separating tzedakah, they would force him to give tzedakah. Which means it's such an important mitzvah that the Jewish court has power to force people to give. ומכין אותו מכת מורדות עד שייתן מה שעמדו ליתן. And not only that, they estimate how much such a person is supposed to give, and they even can give him lashes until he gives. And if he doesn't want to give, Beit Din has the power to actually go into his property and in front of him take stuff and then sell it and provide for poor people. Nowadays we don't do it, but instead of Beit Din, Hashem does it. If a person doesn't give, Hashem takes it away from him. Now, Halacha Bet says, "Mimashkinin la tzedakah afilu be'erev Shabbat," and you can take a mashkon. Mashkon means collateral, even on erev Shabbat. Now, let's continue. If you have orphans that are that have money, their father died and he left them money. Now, orphans are still young. They're not adult yet. They cannot give tzedakah themselves. They don't understand. They're not responsible. So Beit Din appoints a manager for them. This manager is not allowed to take tzedakah from them. It's not his money. Their father is not alive. He has to wait until they become mature. Unless it's something that they need to give anyway. For example, when a farmer collects harvest, he's not allowed to eat it until he separates truma and maaser. So for that, the manager can separate truma and maaser for them and distribute it to poor. But things that they don't have to, we wait until they grow up and then they separate themselves. That's halacha gim. Halacha daled, גבי צדקה אין מקבלים מן האנשים ומהעבדים המתינוקות. אלה דבר מועד. Tzedakah collectors are not allowed to accept money from children or from women. Only a small amount. What does it mean? That if somebody comes to collect charity and a woman wants to give him $1, that's okay, he can take. What if a woman takes out a $100 bill or writes out a check for a lot of money? He's not allowed to take it. Because she's supposed to consult with her husband. She's supposed to ask her husband, is this okay to give so much money? And the same with the child. If you come to the door, let's say you're collecting for yeshiva, you come to the door and the child comes out and gives you money. You have to ask him, where are your parents? Do they let you give so much money? Where's your father? And if the father is not home, you're not allowed to take it from him. It's stealing if you take. And the same with a woman.
The difference what age is the child? Or?
No, as long as the child is supported by the father, he still lives at home and doesn't have his own money, he cannot give. If he earns his own money, he's giving from himself, that's fine. But with a woman, the rabbis made a rule. Since in general women earn not as much money as the man, and man is obligated to support a woman, his wife, they said, you know what? To make the man feel good, give him your money, whatever little thing you make, and instead he's going to provide you with all your needs. And therefore, for the benefit of the woman, they said, all the money the woman earns belongs to the husband, but instead the husband has to provide her with everything she needs. And therefore, all the money in the house belongs to the husband. And she needs to ask him permission if she wants to give tzedakah. Now, a small amount is fine. If she gives a quarter, $1, maybe even $5, depending on the husband, as long as she knows this amount the husband is going to approve, no matter what, she can give. But amount that is larger than that, whether it's $10, $20, $100, depending on husband's generosity and ability, she has to ask his permission. Yes.
Does the husband need to ask his wife?
The husband generally doesn't need to ask his wife's permission, although it is a good idea if they're talking about a large sum of money. It's a nice thing for him to consult with his wife and make her his partner. Say, you know what, such a yeshiva asked me for money, such an organization asked me for money, our synagogue asked me for money, this poor person needs money. What do you say? Should we donate? And she'll say yes, no, and you talk and you make a decision together. She was going to feel good, that it's going to bring shalom bayit, and she's going to get the merit also of saying yes, even though ultimately the decision is up to him. But it's a good idea to involve her. Now, if a woman earns a lot of money, so much money that it's more than what the husband provides her with, then the rabbis gave her an option. If she wants, she can say, you know what, I'm going to keep my money and I'm going to pay for my expenses. I don't need you to support me because I'm earning more. She has this option. It's not recommended that she should use this option because it will create certain tension, friction between them, because husband is not going to like that. But if for some reason she feels the husband is stingy, he's not giving her enough, and he's taking her money, she has the right to say, I'm not giving you my money, instead I'm supporting myself. Then the husband doesn't have to support her because she has plenty of money herself, and she can keep the remainder. And then she's free to do with her money anything she wants. She can give it to tzedakah if she wants. Next, we skip halacha hey and we go to halacha vav. Ben shochel etzel aviv, a son, what we mentioned just now, a son who is supported by his father. If a poor person comes, he is allowed to give him a slice of bread, something small donation. That's permissible because we assume the father is going to be okay. What if a friend comes home? Is the son allowed to give the friend a snack? The halacha says yes. Anything that is normal, something small, is permissible. But if the son is going to give something larger to the poor person is not allowed to take because it was given without permission of the father. If the son is giving an expensive toy to his friend, the friend is not allowed to take. And if he takes, the parents can call that friend's parents and say, my son gave your son, we didn't approve it, please give back to us. And they should give it back because the son has no right to give something expensive without asking the parents. Halacha zayin. Adam shua shenoten tzedakah yoter miharaui lo. Wow. A person who is too generous, he gives more than he should. או שמייצר לעצמו ונותן לגבי, or he even makes himself suffer and gives more than necessary to collectors. שלא יתבייש, because he doesn't want to be embarrassed. אסור לתובעו לגבות ממנו צדקה. You're not allowed to ask him for tzedakah. If you know that somebody cannot say no, and you know that he's in tight situation, it's going to be difficult for him, you're not allowed to ask him for tzedakah. והגבאי שמחלימו ושואל ממנו, and the gabbai tzedakah who publicly asks him, how much can you donate? And he feels embarrassed and he gives, עתיד הקדוש ברוך הוא להיפרע ממנו. In the future, Hashem is going to punish such a collector because he's hurting another Jew. He knows this Jew cannot afford it and he's forcing him to pay. So you have to be careful. If you know somebody cannot pay, just skip him. Don't ask him. or ask him for a small donation, just so that he should feel good that he participated, but nothing big. So you have to be careful not only with the poor people, you have to be careful with the givers themselves. Sometimes a person doesn't have to give and should not give if it's going to hurt him or his family. And the last halacha for today, halacha chet, הרוצה לזכות לעצמו, יחוף יצרו הרע וירחיב ידו. Someone who wants to receive merit for himself in Olam Haba, he should subjugate his Yetzer Hara, he should take control of his Yetzer Hara, and he should give with an open hand. וכל דבר שהוא לשם שמיים יהיה מהטוב והיפה. And everything that you do לשם שמיים for Hashem, you should do from the best. We see it from Cain and Hevel. Cain and Hevel, the two brothers, Cain brought an offering to Hashem and Hevel brought an offering to Hashem. Hashem turned to Hevel's offering. Why? Because Cain brought whatever came to his hand. He didn't choose the best. And Hevel chose the best of his sheep. When we serve Hashem, or when we fulfill Hashem's commandment, Tzedakah, we have to do it with the best. If a poor person comes in, not only give him generously right away, give him with a smile, and give him nice thing. Don't give him some dry piece of bread. Don't give him food that is about to be spoiled. Give him something that you would eat yourself, something that you would enjoy yourself, the best from your table. And if a person wants to build a synagogue, he should make synagogue better than his own house. We learn from Shlomo HaMelech. It says that Shlomo HaMelech spent two times longer on building his house than Beit HaMikdash. What it means is that he put in more effort. He sent more workers. He invested more money to build Beit HaMikdash so that it should be finished in half the time. But when he was building his house, he said, it's okay, I can wait. So the workers were working slow. He didn't rush. So when you doing mitzvah, try to do it to the best of your ability, the most beautiful. When you have guests, give them the best. Poor people, give them the best. Someone doesn't have clothing, give him nice clothing. Don't give him some old or not fashionable. Give him the best. We're talking again about somebody who can afford it. Somebody who cannot afford it, whatever you can afford. If you want to donate any item, donate your best, the best of your possessions. The best to Hashem. That's what we say about offerings. Give the best to Hashem. Now, a question is asked, can a person get any benefit in this world from the tzedakah that he does? We said you have to do it l'shem shamayim. Do it with a full heart, do it for the sake of heaven. Are you allowed to write your name in a sidur that you donated to synagogue?
Yes.
The answer is yes. Are you allowed to write your name on a chandelier that you donate to the synagogue? The answer is yes. Why? Aren't you getting the reward in this world and it's going to be missing? So it depends why you're doing it. If the only reason why you're doing it is because you want the name, you want the honor, so then Hashem is going to say yes. You want to give tzedakah to get the good name, to get honor, okay, put your name, you're going to get honor, and that's your reward. But if you say, Hashem, really, I'm giving it for your sake. I'm giving it l'shem shamayim, I'm giving it because I want to help the poor, just like you commanded. But I want people to know who gave it, so that they should be inspired and also give. so that they see that even someone like me donated this, so they will say, okay, I'm also going to give. So that's permissible. And in fact, people who are accepting donations, let's say leaders of the synagogue, they should offer it to people. They shouldn't just accept the donation. They should say, you know what, you did such a great mitzvah, let me give you a receipt so that you can get help with your taxes. Let me write your name in a siddur or other donated objects. However, a person shouldn't do it only for that. For example, some people say, how much I'm going to save on taxes? If I'm going to save, I'm going to give. If I'm not going to get a tax break, next year Trump changes laws and I'm not going to get tax deduction, I'm not giving. So that's already not good. He's going to get his tax deduction, but that's it. But if he says, I want to help, and by the way, while I'm giving, let me get some help, some benefit, that's fine. You're allowed to get additional benefit as long as your main kavanah, your main intent is l'shem shamayim. Thank you for listening. See you next time.